What's in a name? Well, Pikachu's name comes from the mouse-like animal Pika, which then boiled down to a combination of two Japanese sounds: Pika, the sound that an electric spark makes, and Chu, the sound that a mouse makes. That being said, the name Pikachu means a lot of things to a lot of people these days. He's the mascot of a major franchise that has touched millions of fans all across the globe. And of course, he's also got some alternates which are fun too to take a look at. So today we are counting down our top 10 Pikachu alternates. Let's jump in, guys. Starting us off in at number 10, Ash's Pikachu. Perhaps one of the most popular Pikachu variants is the one from the Pokemon anime, created for Game Freak by OLM Inc., a Japanese animation and film studio whose claim to fame is our topic. OLM are the ones who actually pushed Game Freak to make Pikachu the Pokemon mascot, noting that the electric rat had a whole lot of potential that they could profit on. The Pokemon anime, which first hit television screens back in 1997, featured a Pikachu with a very prominent personality. He's protagonist Ash Ketchum's best friend, his starter Pokemon, and while the two didn't get along at first, he even electrifies Ash upon meeting him, Ash shows Pikachu his unconditional commitment to being his pal, and the two grow a bond that made for one of the most heartwarming relationships in pop culture history. But there's one thing Pikachu is always very adamant on in the show: he never wants to go in a Pokeball. He's outspoken, and at times quite sassy, and is always loyal to his friends. How could you not love this Pikachu? Moving on to number 9, the OG Pikachu. Let's dive into a history lesson, y'all. Pikachu first debuted in 1996, along with all of the other Generation 1 Pokemon, but compared to the Pikachu that we know and love now, the initial Pikachu looked quite different, and wasn't intended to become the face of the franchise as he did. Rather, it was supposed to share that duty with Clefairy, Clefairy being the main mascot of the series. Clearly, that did not pan out, and Pikachu was ultimately chosen since it presented a more recognizable image for children, especially with its bright yellow color. Now take a look at the original Pikachu in the games. He's significantly more plump than the Pikachus of later years, with very tiny limbs. Even in the animated series, Pikachu's body was more stout, was wider and shorter, compared to the longer, taller Pikachu of modern day times. The red circles on his cheeks have varied as well. He's gone from a more circular creature to one that has more human-esque traits, despite those traits being ever so subtle. Moving on to number 8, Pikachu in a cap. I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory. Nintendo and Game Freak have a history of slapping hats on Pikachu's head over the years, but the official cap-wearing Pikachu is actually the product of an event exclusive that debuted alongside Pokemon Sun and Moon, and to celebrate the anime's 20th anniversary and 20th movie. Holy crap, 20 movies, right? I feel so old right now. These Pikachu are always male and don't evolve. They were only available in the games for those who pre-ordered tickets to the 20th film in Japan, and received a single-use serial code on games in Japan. Each of these Pikachu variants represent the hat of various player characters from various regions and Pokemon generations in the games, along with the original cap, which is straight out of the anime, and features the baseball cap that Ash wears throughout. In at number 7, Cosplay Pikachu. Cosplay Pikachu was first introduced in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. What's its deal? Well, it's a unique female Pikachu, who has a black heart-shaped mark at the end of its tail, and is only obtainable after the player takes part in their very first Pokemon Contest Spectacular, which is essentially a beauty pageant of sorts for Pokemon. Pokemon are judged based on their condition and moves in 2 rounds. Anywho, Cosplay Pikachu is capable of dressing up into 5 different costumes, some of which we'll be breaking down in upcoming numbers. It's also worth noting that this Pikachu is unable to evolve into Raichu, but considering how many variations of costumes that it has, it's not like you'll ever be hungry for an aesthetic change of pace, let's be honest. Up next, number 6, Pikachu Belle. Meet Pikachu Belle. She's donning some threads reminiscent of another time, another era, but still all Pokemon themed, as you can see by the Pokeball designs on the front of her gown. She's also got some prominent eyelashes compared to the other variations of Cosplay Pikachu. Now, each of these 5 costume variations for the Cosplay Pikachu that you can choose from, each corresponds to a specific stat in the Contest Spectacular, and Belle's stat is, you guessed it, beauty, because, you know, the word Belle. Just like the original Cosplay Pikachu and all of the other variations of Cosplay Pikachu, she falls into the undiscovered egg group, meaning you can't breed her. Up next, number 5, Pikachu Popstar. Popstar Pikachu is another variation of Cosplay Pikachu, and she looks a whole lot like one of your classic traditional J-pop stars, with a big old pink bow held together by a shiny gem, sparkling pink and purple skirt, and her midriff exposed. It kinda makes sense where she's getting inspiration from. She's also got a whole lot of glow in her eyes, as if she's sucking in the limelight. Popstar Pikachu's corresponding corresponding contest stat is none other than cuteness. Moving on to number 4, Captain Pikachu. Captain Pikachu is a character who is a sailor. Yup. He appears in the trading card game in Japan as one of the unnumbered promotional cards that were released back in October of 2008 in order to commemorate the moving of the Yokohama Pokemon Center. On the card, Pikachu mans a ship while wearing a captain's hat, surrounded by other Pokemon as his ship crew out on the high seas. The card was released as a jumbo card, which makes it not legal to use in tournaments, and even has the Yokohama Pokemon Center logo on it. This isn't the only promotional Pikachu card to have hit the scene either. There's another one called Shopping Pikachu that features the character amongst shopping baskets full of fruit. Moving on to number 3, Pikachu Rockstar. Similar to Pikachu Bell and Pikachu Popstar, there's not a whole lot to say about Pikachu Rockstar outside of its aesthetic, and clearly, she is in fact a total rockstar. Leather jacket with metal studs? Check. Furry badass collar? I mean, not typically a rockstar thing, but definitely works. Check. And sparkly black pants also with metal studs? Check, check, check. She even has an eyebrow variation that makes her look more heavy metal, and a Thunderbolt shirt that's fitting of a rock musician. Rockstar Pikachu's corresponding contest stat is coolness, of course. Up next in our number 2 spot, Surfing Pikachu. Surfing Pikachu is one of the coolest Pikachus out there. While it's not a very different alternate, it does mark an important moment in the character's history. Then Surfing Pikachu was one of the first moments where the Pokemon was seen doing other things than, you know, just being a Pokemon. You're welcome, cosplay Pikachu. Surfing Pikachu is simply a Pikachu who can use the HM Surf and appears on a surfboard while doing so. It began with Pokemon Yellow and expanded into Gold, Silver, and Crystal. You can even get one in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon by beating the Big Boss High Score and Mantine Surfing. It was also featured in a mini game that was exclusive to Pokemon Yellow called Pikachu's Beach, and can only be activated by transferring in a Pikachu with the ability to surf from other games. Surfing Pikachu even made its way into the anime, with a whole distinct Pikachu character named Puka, who had blue eyes and appeared in an episode titled The Pikahuna. There's also one in Pokemon Pocket Monsters manga, who is owned by Yellow. Since then, it's become a bit of an icon, and Surfing Pikachu merchandise has often been distributed during various Pokemon events worldwide. And finally, in our number 1 spot, Pikachu Libre. Pikachu Libre is technically one of the cosplay Pikachu's costumes. It's a Pikachu stylized as a Lucha Libre wrestler, but unlike the others, she's got a whole life of her own. Pikachu Libre appears in the Pokken Tournament, and is classified as a speed-type Pokemon, making her one of the fastest characters in the game. That being said, her attacks are somewhat weak. Gotta have balance, friends. But she can power up her moves for a short time by causing phase shifts using a move, which also temporarily increases her attack stat. This unique ability allows for her to build up momentum quickly and deal out a reasonable amount of damage to her foes. Her Synergy Burst attack is impressive too. It's a flying thunderclap press, where she dashes forward, stunning her foe on a wrestling ring, and follows it up by cheering with the audience and then slamming her foe from above with an electrified attack. There's even a nice Easter egg in the brand new Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee games that you can find at the Celadon Game Corner that describes a video game featuring a Pikachu wearing a mask, which is a nice little reference there. Alright, there we have it, friends. What other versions of Pikachu do you think should have made our list? Do you know any other versions? Well, give us a shout in those comments below and let us know. If you dug this video, spread that love, hit that like button, and share this video with a friend. And be sure to subscribe to Top 10 Gaming for more Pokemon lists just like this one. In the meantime though, thanks for watching, friends. I'll catch you all in the next video.